Welcome back, all you awakened savages. And today we're talking about awakening that savage. Because there comes a moment in every man's life, well, it was for me, when I hit 40, when that old roadmap stopped working. Right? You wake up one day and you just realise, see this career I've got, the body I've got, the relationships, even my own thoughts, they're not where I thought they would be. Okay, but maybe you are successful on paper, but are you happy inside or are you empty? Okay, maybe you've lost your edge, your drive, your sense of mission and purpose. Or maybe you're smack bang in the middle of a midlife crisis. Or even a spiritual awakening that stripped away all the bullshit and left you raw. See, the world tells us to settle, to slow down, to shrink our dreams. Right? But that's not my story, and it's not your story if you're watching this. Not if you're ready to truly awaken that savage within, the man that you were always meant to become. And this isn't about getting back what you had or what you lost. It's about building what you never had: power, purpose, legacy. And that starts right now. Okay? Because nobody really prepares you for the shock of hitting your 40s. I remember it, when I turned 40, right? It seemed different. Okay, and the world sells you this myth that if you just work harder, you achieve more and keep grinding, you'll stay on top. Right? But that's not how it went for me, and I'm pretty sure it's not how it's going for you either. And this is a reality. See, after 30, maybe 35, your testosterone starts dropping. See, by your mid 40s, that means less drive, slower recovery, more body fat, less libido, and sometimes for the first time you feel these, really draining energy crashes. Right? Cortisol, the stress hormone, that stays higher. Right? You might notice a little bit more belly fat, right? And you just can't get rid of it. Right? Sleep that's never deep sleep. And a brain that feels foggy at work, at home, everywhere. On a cellular level, your cells start to lose efficiency. And this isn't just about aging, it's about how you've lived your life. Years of late nights, high stress, inconsistent workouts, the shitty food that you eat. Your heart, your joints, and your metabolism, they are sending you the bill of all those years of abusing your body. But it's not weakness, it's biology. Modern research, it calls this the transition decade for men. Right? There was a big Harvard study that showed that midlife is a period of highest reported unhappiness. Right? What they call the U curve. Right? And neurologically, your brain's reward system is starting to shift. Right? You get less pleasure from the old hits: food, sex, money, even that adrenaline rush. Dopamine receptors, they are fried, right? They're less sensitive, meaning you need more stimulation just to feel that same spark. And that's why you see these men chasing bigger toys, fancy red Ferraris, or, the younger women, riskier behaviours, right? Or on the flip side, they just feel numb, right? And then you look at sleep deprivation, right? Which is an epidemic for men in their 40s, because your mental resilience hits an all-time low. It tanks. Right? Chronic sleep loss, that lowers testosterone, increases anxiety, and erodes your ability to make those sharp decisions. So over time, see, the stress circuit in your brain, it just gets stuck, right? Making it harder to relax or feel any type of joy. Right? This is the decade of the mirror. Right? This is the time you start asking, is this it? Right? Midlife is where all the stories you've told yourself, right? The ways that you've defined success, masculinity, fatherhood, and even love, they start to break down, right? For some, it's triggered by divorce, loss, career shifts, or just waking up with this fucking emptiness that wasn't there before. Okay, the masks start to slip, the people pleasing, the chase for status, the old ways of numbing, food, alcohol, porn, work, just constant distractions. None of it works like it used to. And this is what Carl Jung called the afternoon of life. Right? The strategies that worked in the morning of your life, they're now failing. If you try to double down on old patterns, you're going to burn or you're going to break down. Okay, and many men that I've spoke to, and I know this, through the years of coaching, of helping, they feel shame or guilt for even having these questions. So they keep it all in, suppressed to themselves. This is how the midlife crisis gets its teeth. Not in the actual change itself, but in the isolation, okay? The silence, the refusal to evolve. Right? In ancient cultures, see midlife, that was a sacred crossroads. Right? The Greeks called it metonia, right? A radical change of heart, a soul deep transformation. Right? The samurai saw the 40s as the time a man became a sensei, not by force, but by integrating his shadow and leading from wisdom, not just strength. Right? Spiritually, the pain is not punishment, it's an invitation. Your old identity is dying so your real self can be born. A man who isn't just chasing validation, but building purpose and legacy. The crisis that you might be experiencing, that is the door. Right? This is the stage that strips away the illusions. And see, if you avoid it, you will get stuck, angry, numb, lost, bitter, resentful. If you face it, you can reinvent every part of your life. Your body, your mind, your soul, your relationships, your legacy, your mission, your purpose. Because you have never ever been broken. You just didn't know what worked for you. And right now, you're being called to figure that out. Because the only way out is through. Right? And let's get crystal clear on what's actually draining your energy, your drive, and your sense of self right now. Because most men hit their 40s, right? They don't lose their edge on their 40th birthday, right? It happens over time. It leaks out drip by drip through habits, patterns, and the hidden wounds that they carry that they've never addressed. Okay, and the first way it'll leak out is just chronic stress and emotional bottling. Right, you might be the rock for everyone else, your partner, your kids, your business, your family, but you're holding it all in. That turns your body into a fucking stress factory. Right, chronic cortisol floods your system, wrecks your sleep, raises your blood pressure, dulls your ability to recover. See that tension in your jaw, the gut issues, the insomnia? That's unprocessed stress, and that's draining your battery every single fucking day, brother. And then we look at the second one, neglecting your body. Right, you might still go to the gym, right? You might still work out. You might still be on the kind of fitter side, right? But here's the reality: a lot of men treat their body like an afterthought, especially after 40. Everything else is more important. Skipping workouts, eating shitty processed food, too much alcohol, not enough movement. These things don't just show up as extra weight. They sap your testosterone, slow down your metabolism, and lower your mood. The body keeps the score, and it doesn't give discounts for good intentions. Okay? And the third way, addictive numbing, screens, booze, food, porn, busyness. Right? You reach for comfort when you feel empty. I'll just have a few drinks. I've had a stressful day just to unwind. Scrolling through your phone until fucking God knows what time at night. Zoning out on TV or watching porn, which no man should fucking watch. Right? It feels like relief, but the research is clear. Dopamine exhaustion and overstimulation fry your focus and kill your motivation. Over time, you lose your spark, your passion, your willingness to chase those big goals that you once had. And then we go on to the next one, relational drift. Right, this starts small. You stop connecting with your partner, right? You let these old friendships kind of fade. Or, you avoid tough conversations with your kids. You try to be their best friend instead of their dad. You think that you're keeping the peace, but see inside, loneliness and resentment, it fucking grows and festers. Men who lack strong, honest relationships, they are more likely to suffer depression, heart disease, and early death. Right, see, emotional disconnection, it's the slowest energy leak, and it's the hardest one to see. Right, and then we look at the next one, lack of purpose or mission. Right, when you don't know your why, everything feels heavy. Your purpose is fuel when you're in the drift. Even small setbacks can feel overwhelming when you have no purpose. The ancient warriors had a code, right? Modern men need a mission, even if it's just to become the best father, partner, brother, boss, whatever it is. You need some type of mission and purpose. Okay, the next one, living in the past, right? Or fantasizing about the future, right? Regret and anxiety, they are time thieves. Ruminating over past mistakes or worrying about, what the future's coming, that burns your mental energy and traps you in a fucking loop. This is what keeps men up at night and keeps them tired all day. Okay? And the last one, refusing help, refusing to step into a brotherhood or have honest reflection. I spoke about this in the last video, lone wolf syndrome, the belief that you have to fix it all yourself, and you believe that's heroic, right? And I do believe that we do have to go through some type of lone wolf stage. I've been through several, but not to stay there, because it's the fastest way to burn out. Every study shows that men with a solid support system bounce back faster, perform better, and live longer. And the bottom line is, brother, every one of these leaks is reversible, but only if you get honest, take action, and stop accepting just getting by as the new normal. You can't pour energy into a bucket full of holes and expect to fill it, right? If you want to awaken the savage within, you have to sort these leaks, one leak at a time. Okay, and I'll explain to you what I had to go through, right? And this was not that long ago. And it was at the beginning of this year, right? I came through another, dark night of the soul, or what I call my lone wolf stage, right? I had just turned 46 and I was feeling fucking old, right? I was in a downer thinking that, I'm now closer to 50 than I was 40, that my best years had passed me by, right? And the funny thing is, see, to everyone else, I looked like I had my shit together, right? I had my own business, I had a beautiful, amazing family. I've got a lovely house, my favourite car. I was sober, I was training, I was looking really good. I was doing everything that I thought a man was supposed to be doing. Right, but see, inside, I was still fucking lost. Not the kind of lost where you don't know where you're going, right? Try to get direction somewhere. The kind where I didn't even know who the fuck I was anymore. And I remember this day, and I think I might have spoke about this in a previous video. And I was standing in the kitchen, right? My kids were out playing. My wife was in the other room, right? And I felt invisible. And it wasn't that I felt invisible to them. I felt invisible to myself, right? And there was this constant, I don't know if I don't want to call it an ache, but it was this constant feeling of heaviness right in my chest that I just couldn't ignore. And it was like something was banging, my soul was banging on the insides of my ribcage to wake me the fuck up. Right, I was in a full-blown pity party, feeling sorry for myself. Right, I had become this version that, yeah, reliable, safe, but I knew that I wasn't being my true, authentic self. I was chasing routine over purpose, control over creation. I was playing the good man, but I wasn't being my man, the man that I knew that I could be. I had stopped dreaming. I had stopped taking risks. I had stopped leading. In fact, I fucking didn't even know who I was or what I wanted anymore. And that day, I opened up my laptop and a video popped up of one of the creators that I used to admire, right? And instead of feeling inspired, I felt, I felt irritated, right? And not at him, right? It was just the mood that I was in, right? And then I came across another creator that I had never seen before, just this random guy, and he wasn't talking about any kind of much real value. He was just complaining about how shit his life was, right? And I looked at the video and it had thousands of views, right? Thousands of views. And I clicked on his page and he had 19,000 subscribers. And I fucking, at that point, then I got fucking so angry, right? And again, not at him, at myself. Because if these creators can do it, then why can't I? Because I knew what I had came through. I knew that I had a message. I knew that I had a fight. I knew that I could really truly help other men. But I was still sitting in the fucking audience. Right? And that's when I heard it fucking pretty loud. Just be you. Be authentically you. And that was some type of download, some type of guidance. Right? And I closed the laptop and I looked in the mirror. And for the first time in years, I didn't see the provider, the addict, the coach, the dad. I saw something in my eyes, which was a fucking savage. right? Because I knew what I had went through. I had been created, in addiction, prison cells, broken bones, grief, gang fights, you name it. I had been through it and I'd overcame it all. So I had something to say. I had something to build. I had men to lead, but I was still letting fear dictate every decision I made. So that day I made that decision. And it wasn't to go viral and it wasn't to impress anyone, but it was just to show up every single day from that place. And I committed. I said, I'm going to do the 75 hard for YouTube. And I'm going to create a video for 75 days and not miss a day. And I'd done it. I'd done a video for 75 days every single day. And from there, I just started building the channel. I never missed a day. And it was just, I wanted to get on there to speak, to create, to go all in on a mission that I had been thinking about for years. I had already created the YouTube channel. It lay dormant for months. Because if some guy who didn't really have much to say and wasn't providing real value could go on and help people or build an audience, then so could I. I had to stop letting fear dictate my life. And since that night, yeah, my life hasn't, automatically changed. But you know what? I feel different because I know that I'm no longer performing. I'm becoming. And I know that this is my calling, right? And I will stay committed because I don't look at metrics. Sometimes I do. I don't look at views. I just read the comments that I get, and see that. That inspires me more every single day to know that there's men out there like me who are going through the same struggles. And if I can help them just a tiny little bit, that makes my day the best day. This is where the power begins, right? Not when the world approves, but when you approve of the man that is looking back in the mirror. Okay? And this is the thing, we're not the first men to turn 40, right? Or hit a wall in their 40s, right? Every ancient culture, every man who's lived beyond 40 has went through this. And the ancient cultures, they understood that the true adulthood, it isn't given to you or handed to you, it's earned, right? In Sparta, men were only considered elders, true leaders, after surviving the storms of midlife. Right? The samurai called this time Makato, the emergence of the authentic self, created in the fire of experience and humility. Right? The Vikings believed that midlife was the season you become a sage, not just a warrior. The shift from proving yourself to then guiding others. And the Stoics were blunt. Seneca said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Right, and Marcus Aurelius also in his meditations, during his own midlife, confronting his pain, his fatigue, and his mortality, and he used that to awaken a deeper purpose and clarity. Even tribal societies, marked this crossing with ritual. Men who would step away from the world they knew, leave their families, their work, their old roles, and spend time in the wild facing themselves. The community didn't see this as a crisis. They saw this as a calling. The man who faced his shadow returned with vision, strength, and a new sense of service. And you are standing where millions of men before you have stood, at the crossroads of the breakdown and the breakthrough. They faced the fear, the doubt, the emptiness, and the ones who leaned in, who let go of the masks and embraced the challenge, they became the men whose stories have been told about for thousands of years. Right? The point isn't just to survive midlife, but it's to use it to create the iron that shapes your truest self, to awaken the savage within, the legacy builder, the man who leads from experience and not from ego. Right? And this is what most men miss. See the pain and restlessness you feel at this stage? They are not signs that you are weak. They are spiritual signals. You've been invited to stop living by default and start living by design. This isn't about religion, or any of that. It's about recognizing that your life, your energy, and your struggles, they all have meaning. Nothing has happened by accident, right? And that's what universal law says. It says nothing happens by accident. Right? The law of mentalism teaches that every reality starts in mind. If you want to reinvent your life, you have to change the beliefs, the stories, and the energy that you bring to the table. Right? The law of rhythm, that reminds us that all things move in cycles. Rise, fall, death, rebirth. Right? Midlife is the pivot point in your cycle. It's the sacred crossing, not the end. Right? The frustration, the emptiness, the urge for more. That's your soul pushing you out of the shallow waters into the deep. It's the call to break the old identities, let old wounds heal, and step fully into who you are meant to be. And not just for yourself, but for every person in your life. Every man who's ever left a legacy answered this call. He stopped running from the fire and learned to build with it. He became the architect of his own fate. You're not here to play small or fade out quietly. You're here to awaken the savage within. The man who lives with purpose, leads with heart, and leaves his fucking mark on the world. That's the spiritual contract of midlife, and it's up to you to answer the call. And if you're ready to walk the realignment path, let's go through it. Because you cannot awaken the savage by accident. You have to build him step by step with intention. And here's the path out of the midlife fog and into a life you actually want. Okay? The first step is audit your reality. No bullshit. Take inventory. Look at every critical area of your life, not just where it's convenient. Right? What habits, stories, or excuses are keeping you stuck? You can't build a new legacy on foundations of denial or guesswork. The man who faces the truth across every single domain has the map for radical change. And if you skip a category, you skip a piece of your destiny. Right? And how do we do this? Right? I learned this from Robin Sharma, and Robin Sharma was one of my greatest mentors. So this is a super important exercise. Block an hour out, right? Maybe a bit longer. No distractions. Grab a notebook. Right? For each category I'm going to go through here, answer with the prompt with brutal honesty and rate yourself 1 to 10 and write one honest sentence about what's working and what isn't. Okay? And the areas to audit, right? Self-mastery. Are you using your gifts and talents? Do you know your vision? Are you living as the man that you're meant to be, or are you hiding from the world? Right? The second one, your fitness. Would you trade your health for wealth? Are you sacrificing one for the other? Right? Do you eat, train, and recover like your body is the most vital, valuable asset? Or are you running on fumes? Right? Next one, family. Are you present, connected, and building intimacy? Or are you just coexisting? What's your sex life like? Your emotional life? Right? What's your family rituals? Okay? The next one, your craft. Do you love your work? Right? Are you pursuing mastery, or are you just coasting and surviving? What are you doing to overcome self-doubt and limiting beliefs? Are you expressing your genius? Okay, and the next one, finance. Are you building abundance or living paycheck to paycheck? Right? Can you take your family on adventures and just give freely? Or are you bound by scarcity and counting your pennies? Right, the next one, brotherhood. Who do you spend your time with? Are they positive, driven men or toxic energy drainers? Right? How do you create your circle? Right? Next one, adventure. How often do you inject newness into your life? Right? Learning, adding excitement to your life. Do you seek adventure? Do you take your family on adventures? Or have you just settled for routine? Right? And the last one, fulfillment. Are you making an impact? Are you living for something beyond yourself? Right? Do you feel useful and valuable to others? Right? And that's what Robin Sharma calls, he calls them the 8 forms of wealth. Right? So how would you do that? So, for example, right, you rate yourself in 6 in fitness, 2 in adventure, and 4 in brotherhood. Right? You're right. I've become boring and isolated. No new challenges, just routine. I don't reach out to friends or plan anything outside of work. right? Now, that might sting a little bit, but it's the first step to waking up. Okay, these are so important to get these in check. Right, step number 2, upgrade your habits and the body first, right? Your body is the base of your power. Get back to basics: sleep, movement, nutrition, sunlight, water. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Every small daily win rebuilds your testosterone, your brain chemistry, and your confidence. Right? Fitness is not a luxury, it's a non negotiable necessity. Your body runs it all. Your diet and your fitness are directly connected to everything you do in life. Plays with your children, allows you to do whatever it is you do for money, makes love to your wife. Right? Being successful in this area means taking care of your body and your health. It means making time for exercise, eating a healthy diet, and getting enough sleep. And yes, it means down putting that fucking pizza and beer down. Your body is your energy source. See a weak foundation, right? It drags down your mood, your confidence, and your performance everywhere else. Right? So what you're gonna do, choose one habit, right? For each pillar, right? Movement, sleep, nutrition, and hydration. Right? Make it easy. Right? 20 minutes of walking daily. Right? Set a bedtime timer. Swap processed snacks for whole foods. Right? Swap soda for and drink water instead of soda. Right? Have a bottle of water always with you and track your progress for 30 days. Now everybody's different. Right? These are just simple things to get you started. But see, once, like, I'm 46 and I still work out 5, sometimes 6 days a week. And people can make all the excuses that I don't have time. That's bullshit. Get up an hour earlier, right? You know, that is a simple thing. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. You can go for half an hour, 45 minutes. My workouts recently have been probably about 45 minutes, but they're intense. And I leave there sweating and pumped. Okay, maybe you haven't been an exercise, a regular doing exercising, right? So just start simple. Start walking every morning, right? Switch soda for water, right? Just look at the progress you'll have within 2 weeks. I bet you'll notice, you'll have better sleep, you'll have better energy, and this will then give you the momentum to start increasing it and building more. Listen, brother, you're in charge of your body, so get that shit right. Okay? Step number 3, clarify your purpose, right? Mission over mood. Right? Define the one outcome that would make your next decade meaningful. Right? Your purpose acts as your internal compass. See, without it, you drift into distraction and regret. With it, you can then deal with the discomfort and focus your energy. Right? And again, so many people say, I don't know what my purpose is. If money was no object, what the fuck would you do? Right? Ask yourself, who do I want to become for my family, for myself? Write one sentence. You make it a mission statement and post it where you see it daily. Right? And I've done previous videos on this before. So if you want me to do more practical, in-depth videos on how to do this, then I'm happy to do that. Just say the word. I'm already going to do one for the honor code. Right? But use your purpose as to guide decisions and reset where you feel lost. And it could be as simple as being a strong, present father and mentor. Right? So if that what it is, you would just focus on saying no to things that cost you family time and yes to weekend adventures with your children and your wife. It's not rocket science, guys. It's just having the dedication and the commitment to do it and the discipline. Okay, step number 4, right? Rebuild brotherhood. Right? You're done doing it alone. Reach out. Join a men's group. Reconnect with old friends. Or simply start with being honest with one trusted friend. See, accountability, perspective, and shared energy, they multiply your progress. Make connection and accountability a non-negotiable part of your life reinvention. Because see, men with a strong support system, they rebound faster, handle stress better, they are less likely to fall back into old patterns. Right? So, just reach out to one man you trust. Ask for an honest conversation or to train together. Go and look for a men's group or an online community. Commit to showing up, even when you don't feel like it. As I said in my last video, I'm looking to put together a community, the Awaken Savage community, and I'll put the links in below if you're interested. Either email me or send me a private message on Facebook. But just find somewhere that you can connect with men. And at first, yeah, it's going to be fucking awkward, right? You might find it hard to speak, but see, over time, it gets easier as long as you stay committed. You are not alone, and you should not be going through this alone. We're here for you, brother. Okay? And step number 5, anchor growth with a ritual, right? Create a daily or weekly ritual that grounds your new habits and your identity. Because rituals make change stick. They give structure, signal importance to your brain, and anchor your new identity, right? Pick one ritual: journaling, meditation, weekly reflections, or evening walks, right? Tie it to something you already do, right? Journal after your morning coffee, right? Protect it like it's a non-negotiable appointment. I'll give you my recommendation. This is what got me on this whole journey, right? I done, again, I learned this from Robin Sharma, the 5 a.m. club. Wake up 60 minutes earlier, do a 20-minute run, 20 minutes meditation, and then 20 minutes of journaling, right? Or you can switch the journaling for listening to a personal development book. If you get up 60 minutes earlier, this is all done before breakfast. This gives you an opportunity to kickstart your day with positivity. Right? Then at the end of the week, you can look back and reflect on your wins. Look at the setbacks you've had. What goals are you pursuing? When you're starting your morning correct, it sets the tone for the rest of the day, and you will build momentum really quick, just like I did. Okay, and last but not least, rebuild your family dynamic. Lead at home first. See, the savage who truly is awake, he knows that legacy isn't about personal wins. It's about the impact on your tribe. Your family is the ultimate proving ground. Your family is your backbone. And believe me when I tell you that nothing will frustrate you, distract you, or cause you more stress than poor relationships at home. I know when I argue with my wife, my head is fried for the rest of the day until I get that shit sorted out. So it's time to be the man that you've always wanted to be. And being a successful man means being a great husband. It means being an awesome father. It means putting your family first and being there for them no matter fucking what. Right? Legacy starts at home. The way that you show up in your family shapes not just your immediate family, but generations to come. Right? See, your presence, your vulnerability, and your leadership, that will create a ripple effect for your whole bloodline. Okay? So schedule some time for family rituals, right? Device-free dinners, weekly outgoings, or one-on-one check-ins. We just had a family, we just went on a camping weekend. The 2 weeks before that, we went away into the wilderness for a week. That builds real deep connections, right? Have one honest conversation with your wife a week. Apologise where needed. Express appreciation. Or speak up about what you desire, right? Or ask a deeper question, right? Model the change that you want to see. Okay? The man sets the tone in the house, right? So set a rule: no phones at dinner, right? You start each meal by sharing something that you're grateful for, and invite your family to do the same, right? Because when you're doing this, connection grows, right? And the law of cause and effect, right? This is undefeated. Small, consistent actions change your reality internally and externally. And the law of vibration, that says that the energy you bring to each step attracts new opportunities, people, and purpose into your life. The savage isn't born, he is built. And every day, every action, every honest move is a brick in the new legacy that you're building. Okay, we are here to create legacies, brother. And reinvention isn't just for you, it's for everyone who comes after you. See the man who chooses to awaken the savage in his 40s, his 50s, his 60s. He's the man who breaks generational cycles and curses. You become the architect of your own legacy, not just a survivor of your old bullshit stories. Every step you take, every honest audit, every new habit, every courageous conversation, every act of presence at home become a blueprint for your sons and your daughters, your partner, your community. You're not just upgrading your life, you're setting a new standard for what is possible. Legacy isn't a word for later. It's the ripple you create right fucking now. It's seen in your family's laughter, your partner's trust, your body's strength, your clarity of purpose, your willingness to show up real and unfiltered. The world will keep trying to shrink you, distract you, tell you to settle. Do not fucking let it. You only get one shot at this chapter. And let's fucking write the best one that you can ever write. Because see, the man who answers this call in midlife, he will not fade away. He becomes a force. Okay, the one his family remembers, his brothers lean on, and his younger self will be proud of. Own it, lead it, seal it in fucking action. This is how legends are made, not in their youth, but in the fire of reinvention. Awaken that savage, become the man your legacy demands. Okay? And if you got any value from this, brothers, and you want to follow me on this journey, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, or just drop a comment below. What's the one action you're taking this week to reinvent your reality? What area are you committed to leading? Fitness, family, fulfillment, finances. Okay, and if you're ready for real brotherhood and you want to join a private community of men on this path, check the description for the link or the email. Right, reach out. Let's build this together. Right, and if you got value from this, share it with another brother who you think needs to hear it. We are not in this alone. We're bringing men together for the greater good of your family, my family, humanity. Okay? Don't just live. It's time to lead. This is the chapter your legacy will remember. Okay, and as always, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I love you guys. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Got a video here, and you can subscribe here. Take care.